I helped my best friend start a business. I invested money, connections, ideas. He promised we would do it together. But a year later, he simply erased me from the company, putting his name where mine should have been. He thought I would just disappear. He was wrong. I met Tyler in college. We shared a dorm room our freshman year at UCLA, and despite our different backgrounds, he came from old money in Connecticut, while I grew up working class in Ohio. We clicked instantly. Both of us were business majors with entrepreneurial dreams that kept us up talking late into the night. One day, Brooks, Tyler would say, tossing a stress ball at the ceiling, "We're going to build something incredible together. Something that changes everything." I believed him. For 8 years after graduation, we remained best friends, even as we worked separate jobs, Tyler at a marketing firm in downtown Los Angeles, me as a chef at increasingly prestigious restaurants. We never lost sight of our shared dream, meeting every Sunday to brainstorm business ideas over coffee. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday night. I called Tyler in excitement. "I've got it," I said. "A fast food chain that doesn't taste like fast food. Real ingredients, chef-designed recipes, but affordable and quick." I explained my vision of farm-to-table burgers, artisanal sandwiches, and fresh salads that could be prepared in under 3 minutes using techniques I'd developed. Tyler was silent for a moment. "James," he finally said, using my first name, something he only did when serious. "This is the one." Within a week, we were developing a business plan. I created and perfected recipes in my apartment kitchen while Tyler worked on branding. We called it Fresh Fusion, quality food, delivered fast. I invested my entire savings, $175,000 I'd been building since college. Tyler put in $50,000, promising to make up the difference with his marketing expertise. I spent months refining recipes, sourcing suppliers, and designing kitchen workflows. Tyler handled permits, location scouting, and marketing materials. When we signed the lease on our first location in Santa Monica, Tyler hugged me. "We're really doing this, Brooks. Together." The first 6 months were brutal. 18-hour days, equipment failures, staffing problems, all the chaos of a restaurant startup. I barely slept, splitting my time between cooking, training staff, and tweaking recipes. Meanwhile, Tyler charmed investors, networked with local influencers, and built our social media presence. Then something magical happened, people started lining up. A food blogger called our signature, Revolution Burger, the best fast casual burger in Los Angeles. Local news featured us. Our sales doubled, then tripled. 3 months later, we opened our second location in Venice Beach. 2 months after that, a third in West Hollywood. Within a year, Fresh Fusion had become the hottest new food chain in Southern California. We had 7 locations and plans for 15 more. I was living my dream. Tyler and I had offices in our new headquarters in Culver City. My recipes were being enjoyed by thousands. The future seemed limitless. Then came the call. I was in the test kitchen, working on a new sandwich when my phone rang with an unknown number. "Mr. Brooks? This is Leonard Weiss from Kerrigan Legal. I'm following up on some paperwork regarding Fresh Fusion." "I'm sorry," I said, wiping mayo from my hands. "I don't think we've worked with your firm." "No, we represent Grayscale Ventures. Tyler Gray's investment company." "Oh," I said, confused. Tyler had never mentioned forming an investment company. "What's this regarding?" There was an awkward pause. "Mr. Brooks, our records indicate you recently sold your interest in Fresh Fusion to Mr. Gray's holding company. I'm just confirming you've received the final paperwork." My blood ran cold. What? I never sold anything." Another uncomfortable silence. "I see. Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding. I'll speak with Mr. Gray directly." I hung up and immediately opened my laptop, navigating to our company website, a site I rarely checked since Tyler handled the public-facing aspects. The Our Story page had changed. Where there had once been a photo of Tyler and me, arms around each other's shoulders in front of our first location, now stood Tyler alone, smiling confidently. The text beneath read, "Founded by visionary entrepreneur Tyler Gray in 2022, Fresh Fusion revolutionizes the fast casual dining experience." My name was gone. Completely erased. I called Tyler. No answer. I texted, "We need to talk. Now." 20 minutes later, my office door flew open. Tyler strode in, wearing one of his immaculate suits and a practiced smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Brooks. Just the man I wanted to see. Have you seen the new numbers from Venice? They're through the roof. What did you do?" My voice was quiet, controlled. His smile flickered. "What?" "The website. The lawyer." "What the hell did you do, Tyler?" He studied me for a moment, then slowly closed the door behind him. When he turned back, his expression had changed entirely, the warm, friendly mask replaced by something cold and calculating. "I did what was necessary for the company. The company we built together," I said. He shrugged. "You did great work, James. Really. The recipes, the kitchen systems, brilliant. But we're expanding now. Investors, franchise opportunities, possible acquisition offers. We need clear leadership. So you just erased me?" I simplified things. He sat on the edge of my desk. "Look, you're still the head chef. You'll get your salary, maybe even a raise. But the ownership structure needed to change." I stared at him in disbelief. "I put in 3 times the money you did. I created everything that makes this place special. And I'm grateful," he said, not sounding grateful at all. "But let's be honest, I'm the face people recognize. I'm the one with the connections, the one who can take this national." He spread his hands. "Besides, all the formation documents list me as the founder and majority owner." "What? That's not what we signed." Tyler smiled thinly. "Check your copies." With growing horror, I realized I didn't have copies. In the chaos of launching, I'd trusted Tyler to handle the paperwork while I focused on the food. A terrible mistake. "You can't do this," I said, my voice hollow. "I already have." He stood. "You have 2 choices, Brooks. Stay on as head chef with a generous compensation package, or walk away. Either way, Fresh Fusion is moving forward under my leadership." I felt like I was drowning. All those nights planning. All those promises about building something together. "College dreams," he said dismissively. "This is business." He walked to the door, pausing with his hand on the knob. "Take the weekend to think about it. I'd really hate to lose you as head chef." His voice softened, almost sincere. "We still make a great team, Brooks. Just, with clearer roles now." After he left, I sat motionless, my mind racing through every conversation, every promise, every moment I trusted him over the past decade. It had all been a calculated game, I realized. He'd used my talent, my recipes, my passion, and now that we were successful, he didn't need my name on the paperwork anymore. I didn't shout. I didn't break things. Instead, I calmly packed my personal items into a cardboard box, walked out to my car, and drove home in silence. That night, I made 3 decisions. First, I would not give Tyler the satisfaction of seeing me beg or break down. Second, I would reclaim what was rightfully mine. And third, Tyler Gray would understand exactly what he had done, not just to me, but to himself. I began methodically. Before we'd even opened our first location, I had filed patents on my core cooking techniques and registered copyrights for my original recipes. Tyler hadn't thought they were worth the legal fees, but I'd insisted. Those documents, at least, were safely in my possession. Next, I reached out to Maria Vasquez, our head of supply chain. Maria and I had worked closely to source ethical, sustainable ingredients while keeping costs manageable. I took her to dinner, careful to keep the conversation casual. "How are things with our Riverside Farm supplier?" I asked after our second round of drinks. Maria hesitated. "You haven't heard?" "Heard what?" She lowered her voice. "Tyler switched suppliers 3 months ago. We're using Greenline distributors now." I knew Greenline by reputation, a company notorious for mislabeling conventional produce as organic and cutting corners on food safety. "Does that meet our standards?" I asked carefully. Maria looked uncomfortable. Tyler said with expansion, we needed more reliable volume. But between us, I've been logging my concerns. The quality isn't what we promised customers. "I'd like to see those logs," I said. 2 days later, a folder appeared in my home mailbox with no return address. My third step was technological. Before Tyler and I had drifted into our respective roles, we'd set up the business systems together. I still had administrator access to most company accounts, including email. Morally questionable? Perhaps. But I hadn't been the one to betray our partnership. Late that night, I began searching. It didn't take long to find what I needed: emails between Tyler and a shell company called Gray Horizon LLC, documenting systematic cash withdrawals from Fresh Fusion's accounts. Small enough to escape casual notice, large enough to add up to over $800,000 in the past year. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was coldly, precisely focused. For the next month, I played along. I showed up to work, created new menu items, trained staff, all while Tyler watched me warily, clearly surprised I hadn't quit. Gradually, his suspicion faded. He even started inviting me to management meetings again, though it was clear my role was now that of an employee, not a partner. I waited patiently for the right moment, which came sooner than expected. Fresh Fusion had attracted the attention of Culinary Ventures, a major restaurant investment firm. They were considering a $30 million investment to take us national. Tyler scheduled a massive press event at our flagship location: journalists, food critics, potential investors, local celebrities. A celebration of Fresh Fusion's visionary founder and his plans for nationwide expansion. The morning of the event, I called in sick, the first time I'd ever missed work. Tyler was annoyed but too busy to deal with it. As Tyler stood at the podium before a crowd of over 200 people and countless cameras, he spoke passionately about Fresh Fusion's commitment to uncompromising quality and honest food. "We will never sacrifice our standards," he proclaimed, "even as we grow." At precisely that moment, food safety inspectors walked through the front doors. I'd anonymously provided them with Maria's quality control logs and evidence of the supplier switch. Simultaneously, every journalist in attendance received an email with uneditable, time-stamped copies of Tyler's correspondence with Gray Horizon LLC, along with bank statements showing the diverted funds. And on the screens behind Tyler, the ones meant to show a promotional video, appeared documentation of my original recipe copyrights and patents, alongside the original business plan clearly listing me as co-founder and equal partner. I watched from across the street as confusion rippled through the crowd. Tyler's speech faltered as he noticed the changed slides. A reporter stood up, asking about the emails. Another questioned the food safety inspectors now visible in the kitchen. Tyler's face drained of color. The fallout was swift and devastating. By nightfall, the story had gone viral. Fast food founders' fresh fraud, read one headline. Fresh Fusion or foul play, asked another. Within days, the health department issued violations. Culinary Ventures publicly withdrew their investment offer. Customers avoided our locations, sales plummeted, and 3 lawsuits were filed, one by investors, one by a consumer advocacy group, and won by me. Tyler frantically tried to control the damage, offering explanations, denials, counter-accusations. But the evidence was too comprehensive, too damning. He'd built a house of cards, and I'd sent a single, perfect breeze. 3 months later, facing bankruptcy and legal jeopardy, Tyler was forced to sell Fresh Fusion's assets at a fraction of their value. The highest bidder was a newly formed company called Second Chance Hospitality, owned by me, using funds from a lawsuit settlement and backing from investors who recognized the value of my recipes and systems. I renamed the chain Redemption. At the reopening of our flagship location, a reporter asked if I felt vindicated. I considered the question carefully. This was never about revenge, I said, though we both knew that wasn't entirely true. It was about accountability. About making things right. The first item on our new menu was the Truth Burger, the same recipe that had made us famous, now served as it was meant to be, with honest ingredients and my name proudly displayed as its creator. Tyler called me once after everything settled. His voice was strained, humbled. "You could have just sued me quietly," he said. "You didn't have to destroy everything." "I didn't destroy anything, Tyler," I replied calmly. "I just showed everyone the truth. You did the rest yourself." I hung up and turned my attention to the kitchen, where my staff was preparing for the lunch rush. There was still work to do, a vision to fulfill. Only now, it would be done right. Sometimes at night, I wonder if I went too far. But then I remember Tyler's cold eyes as he told me I was nothing more than an employee in the company I'd helped build. I remember the thousands of customers he willingly deceived with substandard ingredients. I remember the money he stole. No, I didn't go too far. I merely ensured that actions had consequences, a lesson Tyler Gray should have learned long before he betrayed me. And if there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that the best revenge isn't just about making someone pay for what they've done. It's about reclaiming what was rightfully yours all along.